Hello, in that survey I sent out earlier this year about library and things that we need and use, I questioned whether or not some of you wanted to learn about Badgerlink. And some of you did respond that you wanted information on Badgerlink and how to use it in your classroom. So I'm going to do this short little video to at least get you started with Badgerlink and to find out how you can access it. First thing you want to do is go through, obviously, the school webpage. We're going to click on middle school, high school up here. Then if I scroll down, there's a link over here on the side, the Middle School, High School Library and Instructional Media Center. On this page here, over on this side, we have a link to Badgerlink. Badgerlink is provided to everybody in the state of Wisconsin and only the people in the state of Wisconsin. The idea behind it was that it was going to level the playing field so that the kids in smaller rural school districts had access to the same kind of things that the kids in the larger, more wealthy school districts like Brookfield have access to try and level that playing field so that we all have access to the same type of tools. Badgerlink tools are free for anybody in the state of Wisconsin, including up through college kids and adults. If you leave the state of Wisconsin and you don't have an active public library card, you cannot access the resources on Badgerlink. They're not meant for the residents of Illinois or North Dakota or California. They're resources that are for people who live in the state of Wisconsin, paid for with Wisconsin tax dollars. Our Badgerlink is set up right now at school. I believe that Leonard had to send in all of our IP addresses several years ago already, so that our kids don't need to do a login password to access Badgerlink resources while they're at school. At home, it's another story. At home, they would have to do the login. They would have to choose our school. Whoop, went too far. Rio Community School District. And pretty simple, our password is just Vikings. Now, normally I don't have to do this on the computer at school, but if I were home, I'd have to choose Rio Community School District and put in Vikings and then log in. I like to start off from this other page back here because I can break down the resources I'm going to have access to. In this case, I'm going to choose high school. There are many resources in here for advanced placement, full text research database for high school students enrolled in honors level, advanced placement, and international baccalaureate programs. Archive of Wisconsin newspapers, full text daily and weekly Wisconsin newspapers from 2005 to 60 days ago, plus newspapers from the 1800s and 1900s, which are very fun to look at for kids. A Spanish version of Encyclopedia Britannica, Britannica High School. I know people forget about encyclopedias, but if you're looking for the who, what, where, when, and why on a topic, an encyclopedia is still a good place to start. So if you're just starting a research project, you're just starting a topic, an encyclopedia is still a good place to go. It's probably not going to give you everything you want to know on a topic, but it's going to be a good launching point. Atlas for the high school. They've got images and videos, which obviously take up way too much of kids' time, but they're in here. Consumer Health Complete, consumer-oriented health content from mainstream to holistic medicine. Explora, EBSCO's middle and high school resources. Lots of different topics covered in here. Ebook collections, consumer health, history reference books, literary reference, and on and on. Middle search reference ebook collections, science reference, full text articles, a hugely important resource, and our kids should learn how to use this. I can't imagine that they're not using EBSCO resources when they get into college. For educators, they've got a scavenger hunt. Health Source, Consumer Edition, collection of consumer health information. History Reference Center, full text history reference resource. They've got things here for educators. Learning Express, library career preparation. Learning Express Library college admissions test preparation. Okay, ACT, SAT. We've got some kids who are really into this stuff. Maybe this has some resources they can use. High School Equivalency Center. Okay, GED. Probably nothing we're going to worry a whole lot about unless you want to give a kid a taste of what it's going to be like if they think they want to quit high school. Learning Express for high school students. Build classroom and homework skills in math, English language arts, social studies, science, and technology. Literary Reference Center Plus. Okay, Literary Criticism Reference Works for your English teachers. MAS Complete, a collection of popular magazines, books, and multimedia covering a wide range of subject areas. Okay, we're not purchasing magazines anymore. When the pandemic came along, they first told us that they were a transmission of the virus, so we threw them all out and we stopped getting them. Plus, in reality, kids aren't even reading magazines anymore. When they have available time sitting in an office anywhere, sitting at lunch, whatever, they're going to have their phone out. So magazines have just kind of gone by the wayside. But there is still a collection of them out there because we all know from our college days that research oftentimes involves magazine articles. So the option is still here. We don't have to worry about transmitting diseases using them. Newspaper Source Plus, again, if you're doing research on social studies topics that are dealing with the political whatever right now, you need access to newspapers. The World Collection, which certainly gives kids a different aspect, what's going on in other countries versus what's going on here in the United States. Novelist, probably for the kid who really wants to find, if they love Harry Potter, what can they find that's similar to Harry Potter? Okay, create reading lists. This doesn't guarantee we have these books in our library, but it gives kids a resource list of books they might be interested in reading that they could maybe find with us in our library or check at the public library to access. Poetry and Short Story Reference Center, again, for you English people. And again, popular magazines. I would need to check in there to see whether or not there are journals as well. For sure, at the college level, kids are going to have access to all kinds of journals because, once again, you cannot do research without access to those journals. Science Reference Center, full text science reference books, images, and periodicals. U.S. News Stream, current and archival to 1980s. U.S. news featuring key national and regional sources, including the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, LA Times, Boston Globe, Newsday, and Chicago Tribune, as well as 80 other titles. Okay, again, if you're going to do research, if you're going to be up to date on current events, you need access to these types of resources. So let's use this as just a jumping spot for you to see what we have here in Badgerlink, just available for high school. If you noticed on the previous page, there was also an option for middle school. You can get just to the popular magazines, just the newspapers, encyclopedias. Okay, we've got it all broken down into categories or specifically for high school. This is free for us. There are tools in here that if we have any kid who's going to go on any post-secondary education, they are going to need to know how to use these types of databases. So please, if there's any way you can integrate them into what you're teaching, please do so. So when our kids get to those post-secondary institutions, they're not lost. And when the teacher tells them to go look in Badgerlink, they know where to go and look. Or without even being told, they think, oh yeah, I remember that resource we were shown in high school. So please, this is a place to start. If you do have questions, contact me. Otherwise, please show it to your students and get them using it.